Hello everyone. In this video, let us try to understand how to create a capstone project proposal. That is information system capstone proposal. The first section of the document is title page. Here we try to write the actual title that is selected by you and today's date you can include below. So other important sections of the proposal includes section 1 introduction, section 2 literature review, section 3 it is assumptions and objectives, section 4 methodology, section 5 outcomes, section 6 conclusion, then references, then finally I don't want you people to include appendices for this project as of now. Just mention incorporation of ideas and feedback. So do one thing here, try to give some sort of survey questionnaire for quantitative research and interview questionnaire for appendices. I will explain you later. Okay. Later in this video, I will explain that. These are important sections. All these sections has to be filled. Okay. Don't ignore appendices. Please include it. Right. Let us try to understand each and every section of the document as it was explained by. The first section of the document is introduction part. Here you will be giving background information. You start explaining the purpose of the project, what is the problem experienced by what type of organization and what kind of information system you are going to implement. All this information has to be provided here. Basic background related to the project, that is purpose of implementing the project, should be properly explained here. The context should be created here. Like, say for example, you are creating appointment management system for salon. You should clearly mention the reason why appointment system is planned by the organization. Maybe organization has seen recent growth in increasing visitors, and because of no appointment system, no proper appointments, larger queues or larger waiting times are like experiencing by the organization, because of which it is losing the customer. So the organization has a need for implementing information system. That sort of information has to be included here. Next, why implementing this project is important for your information system studies. So here what we should write is, it is important because as a part of the final step of completing your information system studies, you are working on a simple project which helps you to understand various phases of implementation of software applications or software systems. Okay. So it's very important to know how the system is proposed, how the system is requirements will be calculated, and how your system is designed, implemented, tested, and finally implemented at the client location. All these elements should be properly understand. What documents we include will be included in the process of creating project, what kind of resources we will be using. All these information should be known practically. For that process, for that purpose, it is very important to complete this project. Okay. So that has to be covered in this area. Next, what is the problem statement? You already wrote in the idea paper. Many of these sections are already covered in your initial paper, idea paper that was done in the last week. So make sure you refer it again. So you will get better idea of writing problem statement, purpose of study, other things. So make sure you use the document and its feedback. Without that feedback, you cannot complete this document. Okay. So make sure you clearly review your previous paper. Next is the problem statement, what we write. So what is the problem? For what is the purpose of implementing the project, that will be discussed, and how, what is the gap you identified? Because see, organization is having too many customers. It's a good signal, right? It's a good sign. And customer wait time is increasing. Customer wait time is increasing, though you are having a skilled employees at your location. Why their wait time is increasing? There is a gap. There is a gap between what you are offering and what customers are getting. Before the customers are getting, there is some gap between it. What is that? That is wait time. So to handle that gap, it is very important to implement a information system. What information system does? It will be ensuring that it will be ensuring that an appointment system is created and a time slot is allocated to the customer, because of which customer can might be coming at this time the appointment is given, and the work will be given to the customer. The value will be created to the customer with lesser wait time. Okay. So this is how we should write. The gap is wait time. The gap is disappointment of the customer. The gap is though we are creating value, customers are disappointed. So this is the gap. Okay. So next one is purpose of the study. What are the main objectives of the what is the main objective of the study? To ensure that customer wait time is reduced and customer retention is increased. This is the main purpose of study. Okay. We are going to create an information system which will be resolving the organization's problem and ensure that customer wait time is reduced and customer happiness is increased. That will be, it's an example statement. You are not supposed to write exactly the same thing. This is how you will be writing it. And what you hope to achieve? So increased customer retention is a actual achievement that is happening here. Okay. So because of implementation of your project, what the organization is going to achieve? In simple, one word we should write, one sentence you should write. We already wrote about expected outcomes. From that, you can take one or two sentences and you can finish that one. Next, literature review. In the first part of literature review, you should work on appointment management system, why it is important, how it will be impacting the organization, how it will be reducing the gaps for the organization. Several sections you are supposed to create and make sure you simplify it and write it. Approximately in 400 words, you try to finish it. Okay. So important elements related to why appointment system is important, what kind of impact organization will having because of implementation of appointment management system, maybe like cost, resources, budget, these elements you can discuss, feasibility related information. So some sort of good explanation related to the project has to be given using some sort of literature review articles. This section expects a lot of in-text citations and proper references. Next one is theoretical framework. As a part of theoretical framework, you say that we will be using systematic literature review approach. So systematic review approach, what it will do, let me show you. So this is systematical literature review approach. What we do, we plan for certain articles to identify certain articles from the internet. What we do, we try to find certain literature review journal articles so related to the appointment management system and other things. Okay. So information system, implementing information system costs, a lot of things we will be discussing. So for that one, we need to plan it. We will be planning the systematic literature review. As a part of plan, what we do, we identify the necessity of doing research. What is our research question? What is the search strategy? What kind of double quotes, single quotes? What are the keywords that we are using? That should be identified. What is our quality criteria? So the document, before selecting the document, we should be having a quality criteria. So we should only select a qualified document. Like say for example, the article that does not contain date, we won't select. The article that does not contain author name, we don't select. What it means that we only select the document that is having complete information and it should be related to our research. Okay. So in that way, we'll be creating a quality criteria. Based on that, we will be extracting certain number of journal articles from internet. And later, among those paper, again, we try to identify appropriate papers and we extract information. Then we consolidate the information. So means, say for example, you are selecting 100 documents. Among that 100 document, we apply some sort of quality criteria and we select most appropriate top 20 articles. From that, we do research. Okay. Using the extracted and consolidated information, what we do, phase 3, we will be writing a report. We write a theory report. Usually, like regularly, when we write some sort of article, this should be our process. Okay. This is systematic literature review approach that has to be implemented. We don't we don't write a lot of content related to that. We just simply explain the process what we are using here. Okay. This process has to be explained in this section. Next section is capstone objectives and assumptions. We already worked on this section in previous paper. What are the objectives? Your objectives should be smart and your outcome should also be smart. Okay. So what is your objective? Primary objectives. What you are doing as a part of completing this document, that has to be clearly mentioned here. Okay. So just rewrite your objectives and outcomes that are mentioned already in the previous paper, properly segregate it and understanding the feedback, rewrite everything here. Don't just copy paste all the document content. Make sure what are important, what are very much clear, that has to be properly included here. Next section is intended methodology. As a part of intended methodology, we work on multiple aspects. First one is we speak about methodology and framework. So methodology and framework, we will be using research methodology here, mixed research method that will be used by us. And as a part of that, we will be using both qualitative and quantitative. So mixed research method, before you understand, when we say mixed research method, it includes both qualitative and quantitative. More than one method if we are using, we call it a mixed research method. Here we are using both qualitative and quantitative method. Let us try to improvise, throw some light on it, like what is qualitative and what is quantitative. As a part of qualitative research, we focus more on textual content, more on text content, which will be used for the purpose of analysis. Say, for example, when you are interviewing someone, we ask some question and they tell a lot of stuff. From that, we want to extract some sort of exact information that is related to our project. That sort of act is called qualitative research. Whereas quantitative research, we will be using a survey questionnaire. We ask some question, and under that, we will be giving four or five options. Among those options, they are supposed to select one option. So this is one sort of activity. So why we use qualitative research? When we use qualitative research, we use qualitative research to get high quality information from the people, maximum opinions from the people. We are not restricting them. We are talking to them in a discussion format. We will be getting a lot of knowledge out of it. Okay. So usually we do this practice, like as a part of qualitative research, we conduct interviews with project owners, business owners, like that people, because we want to get actual idea why they are implementing this project. Do they have the like budget for the project, and are they supporting implementation of application or not? For these questions, we will be getting answers from the top level employees of the organization or project owner or business owner. These people will be giving answers to our interview questions. You should create some sort of interview questions regarding your project and you should include it in the appendices as it was mentioned earlier. Okay, so what kind of questions you ask when you are implementing appointment management system? You go to boss of the saloon and we ask like what is the purpose of implementing the project? What kind of returns you are expecting? Do you have budget? So that sort of questions. Why you are so much interested in this project? What are your actual expectations? So, like this, we can ask a lot of questions based on which we can understand the motive of the owners, and we can also understand to what extent they are expecting the implementation of software system. Okay. So next one is quantitative research method. This is more operational, like it mostly deals with numbers. So for example, we conduct survey. Maybe the organization contains 10 employees who are offering the services. So for them, we will be asking what kind of impact they are having regarding the work practices. Say for example, uh, we might ask how many people you can provide service on each day. Based on that, we can create a time slot. Okay. So what will be the impact if we increase the number of services you are offering? So that we can quantify it. Like that, you can ask some sort of questions to your employees, stakeholders, like that. And you can also conduct interviews, survey with customers visiting the store, why you are visiting the store, what do you like most, what you don't like most, where we need to improve. These sort of questions can be asked to the customers. Okay, you are supposed to create both survey questionnaire and interview questionnaire, and it should be included in the at least three, four questions related to that, and you should include it in the appendices section. Okay, don't forget about it. So this is how we discuss, and you will be telling why it is more important. Because it is more important because it is very important to understand business owners' perspective, and people who are working in the organization. Stakeholder perspective should also be understood. Every stakeholder in the organization should be understood properly. So uh, conducting mixed research is very important for the organization to implement successfully this project. The next thing is data collection method. So cross-check research about data collection method regarding surveys and data collection method regarding interviews, and what are the good practices that should be properly understood, and make sure you mention what tool, what instrument, what procedures. These three things should be clearly mentioned. Say maybe survey questionnaire, interview questionnaire are the tools. What are the instruments? Your tool is maybe spreadsheets. Instrument is questionnaire, and procedure is how you are storing. You will be storing it in database or you will be storing it in cloud like that. Okay, just collect data collection method, tools, instrument, procedures, and relate it to survey method and interview method. Based on that, you will understand. Data analysis plan, how you will be interpreting the data. So how you will be interpreting interview questionnaire, interview data collected from the interviews, how you will be doing it. That is one point. And how you will be doing when it is surveyed kind of thing. That should be included. What is the timeline of your project? Take 5, 6 important phases like requirement analysis phase, like software development में जो phases are there, include all the phases like requirement analysis, designing, developing, implementing, testing. Include all these phases and give some sort of timelines. And after each phase, what kind of deliverable will be given? That has to be mentioned. Okay, create a new table kind of thing and include that. And give some sort of 1 or 2 lines of explanation on that. Next, expected outcomes. Make sure for the first section, you elaborate these outcomes. So here we will be writing in points. Take those bullet points here in this section and elaborate each and every point. By doing that, this section will be done. And the implications. So because of the outcomes, what kind of benefits organization is going to get, that has to be discussed here. Okay, it makes sense. Okay, and finally, the sixth section conclusion. From section 1 to section 5, what key important elements you identified, that has to be mentioned here. Okay, it's hardly 100 words to 150 words section. Next is what are your next steps? In the next steps, after approval of the project, we start working on requirement analysis and system designing. Okay, so we discussed about it. Otherwise, the week 3 it was mentioned like research methodology, right? So we focus more on research methodology that can be mentioned. So for all the above sections, you will be writing some sort of content from outside, right? So make sure you list enough references properly here. Okay. Next, appendices, like survey instruments, interview questionnaires has to be provided here if possible. Like whatever we mentioned in the project plan above, that should be pasted here again. The final section is comments on idea paper feedback. Last week we wrote idea paper. For that paper, we might have received some sort of feedback. Use that, like we are supposed to use that feedback in completing this paper. So make sure you read your feedback and properly work on where you made mistakes and correct it in properly and complete the paper. So most of the content you can take from previous paper and just improvise it and use it. All right. So it's an easy paper to complete. All the best. Do good. One more point I want to add here. See, most of the people are adding irrelevant references. Please make sure you avoid that. See, when you are writing information system paper, your complete journal article references should be related to information system paper. You cannot write something irrelevant. You cannot write research methods reference from some sort of machine designing. You should mention reference like either you mention a textbook information, like research methodology textbook will be there, mixed research methodology textbook will be there. That textbook you can add as a reference, but we cannot add reference on article from an article which is written on some XYZ cancer detection or like that. Okay, that completely makes it irrelevant. So make sure that you write proper relevant references. Okay, so by this explanation on this report is completed. Make sure you work properly. All the best.